Board meeting tonight. Thank you for being here. We always enjoy having not only adults but students in the audience, either to listen or to make presentations. So we'll begin tonight with a Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence led by our student board rep, Daniela Ruiz.
Please stand. Your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Without getting into the political aspects, I want to take a moment to recognize and keep in our thoughts and prayers young children who are affected by war zones. To no fault of their own, infants, children, and toddlers are faced with horrific acts of violence that lead to consequential health impairments, sometimes leading to death. In cases they may live, they carry with them everlasting scars, injuries, and trauma that no child should ever bear. These children have little to no conception of what is happening around them, let alone why they are in that position in the first place. These children did not choose to live in the impacted areas, and most importantly, they did not choose war. Please take a moment to reflect on children and the impact war has had on them. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. Now we'll have the closed session report by the clerk of the board.
Thank you, President O'Neill. Item 4.1, the Board of Trustees, by a vote of 5-0 approved, initiation of litigation in Orange County Superior Court case number 30-2023-013218 20-CU-PO-CJC. Documents will be available upon filing of the litigation. Item 4.2, the Board of Trustees, by a vote of 5-0, approved a partial insurance settlement for reimbursement related to Orange County Superior Court case numbers 30-2023-238180-CU-PO-JC and 30-2020-01148-065-CU-PO-CJC. Item 4.3, the Board of Trustees took formal action by a vote of 5-0 to accept the settlement agreement in Orange County Superior Court case number 30-20-011-26712-CU-MT-CXC/JCCP number 5052. Item 4.4, the Board of Trustees unanimously approved the settlement agreement in OAH case number 2023070543, resolving all issues in the district's due process complaint by providing reimbursements and equipment in lieu of an IEP. Item 4.5, the Board of Trustees unanimously approved the agreement with the student by providing reimbursement for compensatory education. Item 4.6, no reportable action taken regarding negotiations. 4.7, no reportable action taken regarding personnel. Item 4.8, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to make the following appointment. Kimberly Idio, I'm sorry if I'm saying this. Idio, sorry. Kimberly Idio, Assistant Principal, Western High School. We'll have you come up in just one moment. Congratulations. Item 4.9, the Board of Trustees took formal action with a 5-0 vote to deny the appeal and uphold the suspension of student SA 2301. Item 4.10, the Board of Trustees took formal action with a 5-0 vote to approve the expulsion of students 22043 2301 and 2302. The Board of Trustees took formal action also to approve the administrative transfer for number 22045 with a 5-0 vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now, Ms. Idio, would you care to come to the podium and say a few words?
Board President O'Neill, esteemed Board of Trustees, Superintendent Matsuda, Cabinet, and honored guests, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to serve the AUHSD community at Western High School. I will uphold the mission and values of our district to support our students' success. Here with me today are my parents, Eddie and Lilia, my husband Oliver, and my son Sebastian. Thank you so much. I look forward.
Please have them
My
stand up.
son here, you can hear him, my husband Oliver, and my parents in the back. Once again, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to begin my work week next week.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Well, welcome to the district, or back, I should say back to the district. Thank you. Next is a student representative report. Daniela?
AUHSD News, September edition. Tune in to see what your schools have been up to. Starting with Cambridge Virtual Academy, they had a classics field trip where CVA students had the opportunity to experience entrepreneurship with classics floral and confections. The best business pitch received a $15 gift card. Cypress had a Back to the Future homecoming themed. On September 16th, Cypress students took a trip back to the 80s to party and have a good time. The Cypress campus was transformed into a scene out of the notorious movie Back to the Future. Food and beverages were served from hot dog on a stick, and students got to dance the night away. Big congratulations to homecoming king Sid Chatterjee and homecoming queen Jamie Pontares. Gilbert High School. In Gilbert High School, they started a flag football where they got to go to other community schools, and along with that, Gilbert will start to campaign about the bus time in front of Gilbert to make sure that when the kids get out of school, the students can get to their jobs and homes safely. At Catella High School, they had a fall blood drive. In collaboration with UCI Medical Center, Catella students over 18 had the opportunity to donate blood. Kennedy High School had their very first RSVP summit. So Kennedy's RSVP program had their first summit on September 22nd. With the help of over 80 facilitators, they were able to reach 60-plus classrooms and garner 1,000-plus suggestions on potential improvements on campus. Moving on to Loera, they had a Bridges retreat. Towards the end of September, Loera's RSVP Bridges Club hosted the first mindfulness and restorative justice community circles on campus with Groundswell, formerly OCHR. Students were able to gain leader skills, learn about the difference between restorative justice and retributive justice, and achieve learning how to conduct and facilitate a circle. Loera's RSVP Bridges Club goal for the school year is to expand the concept of circle groups in classrooms and acquaint to teachers and students. Topics that are planned to be discussed include mindfulness, racism on campus, student inclusivity, and homophobia on campus. Magnolia High School Agri-Science Community Center on a segment of ABC 7. Magnolia's MAC was featured on a segment on our local news, ABC 7. The segment features all the opportunities the MAC had to offer. Magnolia students were also featured on the segment and gave the students the opportunity to speak on their impacts the MAC has provided them. Other guests were also interviewed, such as Mayor Ashley Aitken and Josh Friday. Oxford Academy had their sports comeback with girls golf back at Oxford. It brings back the return of a sport that was lost 5 years ago. With Coach David Voskuller leading the charge, the sport is starting to gain traction amongst the students here at Oxford. The team is led by 3 team captains, junior Leah Luna, junior Melody O, and senior Ashley Chen. Despite the rushed start to a season, the efforts made by Coach Voskuller helped in their win against Whitney on September 14th. Savannah also had their very first RSVP summit on September 29th. With the combined effort of our 100-plus staff members, RSVP board members, and 107 facilitators, Savannah RSVP was able to execute a majorly successful summit on Friday, September 29th. Trained facilitators dispersed into over 60 classrooms during a double assembly schedule and presented about the RSVP initiative in an informative and effective manner. Insightful feedback ranging from academic support improvement to school spirit was collected, and students remained productive and engaged throughout the entirety of the summit. We are incredibly proud of all of our students for their participation and our facilitators for leading important conversations and being campus role models. Western High School had Varsity Talks at an alumni breakfast. Varsity Talks had their 3rd alumni breakfast last Saturday. We student athletes all came together to enjoy breakfast made by culinary students and lead chef Med. We also had in attendance Board of Trustee Piercy. The event had a great outcome and got the opportunity to hear from amazing alumni who now are Olympians, doctors, lawyers. It was a chance for our current athletes to feel a part of something bigger, as well as to get the chance to connect with athletes who played in college professionally. That concludes the school report. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela, very nicely done. And also want to thank our PIO, John, for getting what Danielle just presented up on the board so the audience can see instead of us just looking at the flyer. So thank you for that. Moving on, next, do we have any, I don't have any student speaker request forms, so I'm assuming there's no students in the audience that wanted to speak. So we'll move on to reports on associations. We have Mr. James Goran, ASTA.
I saw Brittany here from APGA. Brittany?
Good evening, everybody. Grant is sick again, so you're stuck with me for the report tonight. I have a short message for you guys today. Good evening, Board and Cabinet. ASTA would like to compliment all the work put into the Ed Summit by all stakeholders. Presenters across all content areas were sharing their expertise in the 5 C's and performance task assessments. Attendees were reflecting and finding new ways of improving their PTAs that are utilized every day across the district. Our members will continue to support students, their families, and the community in every way that we can. The association is ready to begin negotiations at the table with the district. Despite a slow beginning, we are interested in meeting with the district, finding common ground, and reaching an agreement on a contract that our members and members of other associations deserve. That's it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Amanda Bean from Alta.
Good evening, President O'Neill, Board of Trustees, Executive Cabinet, and our community guests, both in person and online. First, I just want to give a shout out to our principals. It is National Principals Month, and so just want to express the gratitude and thankfulness for the hard work and dedication of our principals. And so if you haven't thanked your principal lately, take a moment to do that. We want to give also a couple of shout outs to some recent events. First to Carlos Hernandez and his team for the planning and execution of our college and career fair. That event takes the work of many departments across our district to execute. And it just gets so much bigger and better each year. I want to thank the board for attending and all of you who came to help. Even I was really impressed that the business department was there helping us out, and so thank you for that. But really just want to thank everyone for their attention to providing such a great event to connect our students and their families to really wonderful and exciting college and career opportunities. And so thank you to everyone who's involved with that. Secondly, in connection to that, I'd like to thank all of our teachers, our administrators, our counselors, our partners, and support staff for their execution of the College and Career Fair lessons. And so prior to the fair, we execute 2 days worth of lessons at each grade level to help prepare students to make the best use of their time at the fair. And so we're doing activities such as exploring your strengths and your interests, connecting them to potential career choices, and then potential college choices that help match those careers. So that's a big lift, and so everybody's involved. And so really just want to thank everyone for their attention to that, and everyone from, again, the classroom teacher, all the way through our RT department. We didn't have any technology issues this year, so yay for that. So just really want to thank everyone for their participation, a lot of dedication there. And then lastly, I just also want to give a shout out to Diana Fujimoto and her team for the planning and execution of the Ed Summit. And all of the teachers who were presenters. The feedback on that was awesome. And then the other team members that held satellite campuses and did specific activities for their groups. So we had our counselors, psychs, and social workers at Cypress High School working together, and we had many of our special education staff at different campuses across the district for some tailored opportunities. So, thank you to everyone who takes the time and energy to make that day valuable for all of our team members. Again, thanking our teacher presenters, thanking our assistant principals who facilitated many of the breakout rooms, and then our principals and their site level SLTs that led the campus breakouts. And so just a lot of work in the month of October, and just really on behalf of all the members of ALTA, I just want to thank everybody who's involved, and again for their dedication to making these days wonderful for either staff or for students. So thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Next, Brittany Buska from APGA.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, board. Since our last board meeting, counselors have been hard at work supporting the needs of all students, whether it be academically, social, emotionally, or through college and career guidance. Counselors prepared students for the College and Career Fair by helping with CCF lessons and supporting teachers in the classroom to have intentional conversation regarding future plans, and it could be clearly seen with our students at the College and Career Fair. I don't know if you guys saw some of those lines were just wrapped around. I think UCI and UC Berkeley had like 3 separate, really long lines, so that was great to see. We want to thank our leaders for creating such an amazing community event to show our students that they all have the opportunity available for them to do something with their life after high school, whether that's community college, university, trade school. There are so many opportunities for them, and that's just a great night for them to really see what's available to them. We'd also like to thank our amazing mental health task force team. With their amazing work on Monday, our Ed Summit was really one for the books. It was truly a time of complete collaboration among counselors, social workers, and school psychologists. I think it was probably one of the first times we were all really together working in collaboration, so I think it was just a great time for everyone to really feel supported. Later in the day, counselors continued focusing on student needs by looking at needs assessment data, which is the result of counselors' hard work at collecting over 20,000 responses. So we really have some great data to look at as far as where our students are at, what they need from not just counselors, but from everyone at the school site, our admin, our teachers, to really help, help students with the school culture, really feeling like they belong, and really addressing those needs of our students. And then as we head into the second quarter of the school year, our work only continues to ramp up. College applications, small groups, classroom guidance lessons, as well as transcript and IEP audits to help build site capacity, fill our schedules with joy as we continue working with all students to prepare them for life after high school. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brittany. I'd also like to just recognize Leah Hallstrom from ROP in the audience. She is the administrator from ROP, so thank you for being here. PTA, is anybody, I didn't see anybody here representing PTA this evening. Okay, seeing none, we'll move into presentations. Anaheim Anti-Vaping Endeavor. Dr.
All right. Well, it gives me great pleasure to bring up Vicky Acevedo. She is our project coordinator for Tupe, big grant we have. So she's going to introduce our friends from Ocapica who are going to share the great work we're doing with our anti-vaping endeavor.
Great. Thank you.
Good evening, board, good evening, cabinet and community. Vicky Acevedo, I'm your Tobacco Use Prevention Education Project Coordinator. I've been holding the position for 9 years, and we have a lot of different grants that come at us, not only from education piece, right, tobacco use education, but there's also resources for research. And so this is one grant that came to us. It's a tobacco research development program. And so I'm going to let Emily Park and Jonathan Garzon start their presentation.
Thank you very much, Vicki, for that introduction. Hello, good evening, members of the board and the cabinet. My name is Jonathan Garzon. I'm a community health educator at the Chow Family Comprehensive Cancer Center here in Orange County.
Hello, my name is Emily Park. I'm a program coordinator at Ocapica and also the co-coordinator on this project with Jonathan. We just want to thank the Board of Trustees and the Cabinet for taking the time to learn about our program, Anaheim Ave, AVE, which also stands for Anti-Vaping Endeavor, and the work that we've accomplished over the years. Today, we are thrilled to introduce the Anaheim Ave program.
Next slide. So a little background about our program. We started it in 2021, and as we all know, during the COVID years, a lot of vaping amongst our youth started to rise, and so this is a program that came out of that. We saw that there was a need for research around this topic, and with our program, we partnered with Vicky Acevedo, the 2P program here at the Anaheim Union High School District, with the aim to empower students with skills for anti-vaping efforts, youth advocacy, research skills, public speaking skills, and community outreach, all focused around raising awareness about vaping's impact on our youth. And here on the screen, you'll see a list of our partner programs. So we're grateful for the collaborative effort between UCI, Cal State Fullerton, Ocapica, the Orange County Asian and Pacific Islander Community Alliance, and the Anaheim Union High School District to create and sustain this program from the beginning. Here's a list of all the partners that have dedicated their time and resources.
To give a brief overview of the program from spring 2021 to spring 2023, we focused on having the students co-create a peer survey with Dr. Sora Tanjasiri from UCI, who's also in the audience, and Dr. Joshua Yang from Cal State Fullerton in 2021 to then be distributed to their peers at various AUHSD schools. And so through this survey, we gathered data on students' experience with vaping and their beliefs and opinions on it. The results showed that students believe their peers vape because of social factors such as peer pressure, psychological and emotional factors such as stress and anxiety relief, and then product factors such as it being easy to obtain. The students then planned and participated in a community-wide event disseminating the results from the peer survey there. Our event happened in spring of 2023 and was called the Breathe Healthy, Live Mindfully event. And it was focused on vaping and mental health. Over 14 local health and anti-vaping organizations provided resources and activities for students to learn about mental health coping practices and addressed ways to combat vaping in the community. We also partnered with Gilbert High School to host our event at their school. They presented to over 120 peers and community members about the survey results that were gathered and hosted a booth with informational materials and visuals that they created with the peer survey data, vape confiscation data researched by Dr. Joshua Yang from Cal State Fullerton, and information about the effects of vaping. Two of our students, Alyssa Maldong from Magnolia High School and Michael Flores from Gilbert High School, emceed the event.
And to wrap up our Anaheim Ave, our students for our final project focused on creating and hosting the Breathe Healthy, Live Mindfully event. And then during that event, our students were divided into two groups for this event, and they focused on two different information dissemination methods. One group designed and showcased posters located on the left-hand side. at community events, Ocapica youth program gatherings, and the Anaheim Union High School district offices. So you might have seen them around here. The second group of students crafted an educational vaping presentation, which they delivered to Sycamore Junior High School students during the Saturday Academy session in the spring of this year. And you can see a picture of the students there presenting in front of the Saturday Academy on the top right-hand corner. And to gauge the impact of their presentation and using the research skills that we developed during the program, the Anaheim Ave students created pre- and post surveys for the junior high school students. And we included a snippet of the data on the survey questions, focusing on assessing their knowledge of vaping effects and indicating the pre- and post-survey results. And the results revealed an increase in knowledge among our junior high school students before and after the presentation, kind of to showcase the importance of peer-to-peer education.
At the end of the program, the students were surveyed on skills that they grew in, including AUHSD's 5 Cs. The 2 highest skills that they improved on is public speaking and communication. As for the 5 Cs, they improved the most on collaboration. This was largely due to the planning and participation in the community event and their presentation in front of the community members. We are proud of our students that they took advantage of the opportunities that they had in the program and got to hone their skills that will only benefit them in their future endeavors. As their program coordinator, it was truly a joy to see the students open up as the year went on and watch them put effort into their projects and their presentations. They formed friendships with each other even though they were from different AUHSD schools and enjoyed coming to the meetings. At the end of the program, students received a stipend and 2 certificates, one from Congress and one from the County of Orange, to recognize their completion of the program. On this page, there are a few testimonials from Anaheim Ave students. I'll just read some portions from each one. So the first one, the bolded portion says, "I loved how we were able to actually go out and present our information at the Breathe Healthy, Live Mindfully event." For the second testimonial, it says, "As an individual, I have been getting much better at public speaking without a script. This has been my proudest accomplishment, as I have never in the past would have had the courage to speak without one." And then the last one says, "It was really interesting to be able to apply concepts taught in school to a real-life situation that made an impact on my community." On the bottom, there are some art poster submissions that the students also did during a art poster contest for vaping poster, and so you'll see some on the other sides as well.
So on the screen, you'll see some pictures of our students, dedicated students at our events. We appreciate their commitment to our Anaheim Math program and the contributions they've made. In the middle picture, in one of the middle pictures, you'll see that we also organize college tours throughout the year, offering valuable opportunities for career development and college exploration among the many opportunities that our students were able to participate in. And so Anaheim Ave, we tried to build a lot of their skills through a lot of the different programming that we offered. We also had some colleges come out and share resources and information for the students that were getting ready to go to college. And last slide, I just want to acknowledge everyone. I want to thank the Board of Trustees for their support and the community partners. And thank you to Vicky Acevedo and everyone here at the county for their support. And now we're open to questions or feedback from the board. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Anybody have any questions?
Great presentation.
I have a question. You mentioned about the survey, and the survey said that about peer pressure. What percentage of the students said that they started vaping because of peer pressure? Do you have anything?
We didn't get a lot of participation from people admitting to vape use. What we mostly gathered was data from other students, what they perceived the reason that other students were vaping.
Okay. You also mentioned about the ease of being able to obtain the vaping devices. Do you have any more information on that? Like, where are they getting the devices from? Because they shouldn't be able to walk into a store and buy them because they're underage. So I'm just wondering how are they obtaining them? Did your research show anything from that?
Right. That's a really good question. Thank you for that question. We don't have. We're still finalizing a lot of the data. It's being analyzed. Yeah. by our professors.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you're looking at use just in general.
Yeah, come over to the microphone, please. Yes, thank you.
So when you're looking at tobacco and vape use just in general, a lot of it's purchased online, or older students or friends or family will have access to it, and so then it's sold and bartered right between younger students and older students. Unfortunately, even though Prop 31 passed, which was a flavor ban for California, you still can walk into stores and purchase vape devices in every, 25,000 different flavors. So it's going to take a little bit of time. That passed in December. It's going to take a little bit of time for healthcare agencies, associations, right, government, cities, to basically remove it from the city itself, right? Because unfortunately, it's still being sold. So I would say most of it's coming from older, right, family members or older siblings, or they can actually go online and just click yes, that they're 18 or 21 now, right?
Yeah, wow. Thank you. It's an eye-opener. Unfortunate.
I just wanted to thank you for doing all this work. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you to our partners in the audience and Okapaka. What are our plans? You shouldn't have sat down. What are our plans to do this again?
I guess I should.
Yeah.
So sorry, I know the presentation was only 10 minutes, so I wanted to give Jonathan and Emily the most maximum time. But I feel like this is bringing on information that you guys are going to need to know, cabinet and board. So I think it's in the next couple of months, I'm going to try to get on the board meeting and we'll give you an update. We have lots of different grants that are coming from research. Again, this was a research. When you look at the Tobacco Oversight Committee, you have policy, you have education, and you have research. So Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement monies are going to those three places. For us, working with Dr. Adela Cruz now, I'm now under the School of Mental Health and Wellness. So we're collaborating greatly with social workers. Social workers are hosting 4 main campaigns this year. Suicide was last month. This month is substance awareness. Fits really well with Red Ribbon Week. February, they're going to be dating violence, and May will be mental health. So not only are we pushing campaigns, in addition to TUPE still doing curriculum, right, and health classes, we're making sure that the students are getting information. And then I have a TUPE advisor at every single school site that implements youth development activities. So it's mandatory, and I meet with those advisors over the year to work on workshops, right, and put things in place. Sorry. But looking forward, we're moving with intervention and cessation more on site. We're not only doing that in alternative to suspension. On Tuesdays, we're bringing on New Lung, Anaheim Regional Med Center, and they're giving cessation classes like they would if they called the number or went to the hospital. They're getting an hour and a half, every single student that's in our ATS program, right, Pathways to Success. So we're trying to embed it, right, and then we're giving other opportunities like a text quit number, right? They can text Ditch Vape to 88709, and it gives them kind of interactive personal messages. We're also starting, it's a new program as of last year, but we're using yvape.org. It's with a Y, not Y question Y, but yvape.org. And that's a new program that's run through a state program, Kick It California, where administrators can go on and actually assign a student to meet with a cessation coach twice via phone or online. And so we're trying to, we've maybe had 5 schools utilize it last year. So in addition to Alta suspension and our yvape.org program, which will, it connects the administrator with the process rather than just saying, hey, call this number or get, here, go get help. And Dr. Cruz and I are also working on other interventions and cessation for other drugs and other options, right? So we just created a flow chart, which we will be sharing very, very soon with principals and assistant principals, right? And TUPE advisors, right? And everyone who needs to know. So yeah, we have a lot planned, we do.
All right, fantastic work. Thank you so much.
Hopefully that answered your question. I'm going to stay here.
I just have a quick question, Emily and Jonathan. After working with our students, we always know that adults fall in love with them. What is one thing that you learned from them?
Well, I think in the beginning of the year, they were a really quiet bunch, and you never know until they come into that classroom and you're meeting with them and doing activities with them. But over the year, they definitely opened up, and we now have one of the students that was in the Anaheim Math program in another one of our Okapika youth programs called Rooted this semester or this year. And so I think just to not underestimate like their motivations for putting themselves out there and their motivation to grow as an individual and as a youth. And I think I've really seen that throughout the past year that I've been a part of this program, and even continuing into this year, even though they're not my student anymore, I still see them growing and taking advantage of opportunities. So that's really awesome to see.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and for me, it was really great to see the students just want to take control over the event and make it their own. So as our final project, like I mentioned, we had the Breathe Healthy, Live Mindfully event, and all the students were engaged, and they all got to go up on stage and present. And so it was just a great culmination to that project, and all the students were able to bring their own friends from their own schools and all come together and kind of see everyone in one place. And so that's my lasting memory from that.
Fantastic.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next presentation is Workforce Experience Opportunity, Californians for All.
All right. Well, it gives me great pleasure to now bring up our Director of Innovative Programs and Instructional Systems, Amy Kwan. She's going to introduce our team, who is a part of creating just a tremendous opportunity for our students this summer and really into the school year as well. But turn over to Amy. I'm excited for her to share the great work that was done.
Good evening, President O'Neill, Board of Trustees, Executive Cabinet, and of course our community members. I am so proud to be able to introduce our next presentation. It truly is a reflection of our career preparedness systems framework in action through our community schools approach, really investing in our greatest asset as a school district, and that's our students in solving our biggest concerns in our community. And so what we are going to share about today is AUHSD's partnership with the City of Anaheim through a grant called the Californians for All Youth Job Corps. And our first of, we have an army, we'll keep it brief, but who I have here today with us is the City of Anaheim Manager of Workforce Development, Mr. Marco Lucero, and the Youth Job Coordinator, Ms. Blanca Reyes.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the City of Anaheim, we are pleased to support the valuable work experience provided to the youth who participated in the Anaheim Youth Job Corps. We have invested the funding from the Governor's Office through this program in truly sparking an innovation and imagination through the projects to be shared in the next few slides. You can see in the slides that the goals and objectives established by the grant, we are proud to say that they have all been achieved through the partnership with Anaheim Union High School District. Thank you.
In the slide, you'll get to see that last month we had a visit from our Mayor, Ashley Aiken, and the State of California Chief Service Officer, Mr. Josh Friday, who came out to Magnolia Agri-Science Community Center, of course to see our farm, but really to acknowledge the interns from all across the city of Anaheim. So we hosted several interns, not just AUHSD students, but also outside of AUHSD. The Youth Job Corps, it focused on 3 key essential areas of COVID-19 economic impact, food insecurity, and climate change. And you'll hear from our students how we addressed all 3 of those. Our partnership with the City of Anaheim in this grant started in summer 2022, where we had 11 students who were employed to work with us at the MAC. Actually, I think we were the first project to actually execute as part of the grant. It was so successful that at the end of the grant, the City of Anaheim agreed to keep on 3 more recent alumni, so students, but recent alumni, to stay with us throughout the school year from fall to spring. Then this summer, we grew the program from 11 to 53 in 3 different areas. We had 6 students of AUHSD working with our FACES and our Google certificate team to offer Google certificate parent courses where our students were creating the modules, hosting tutorial sessions, and providing one-on-one support to our parents. We had 30 students working at the Magnolia Agri-Science Community Center, and then we had 17 students working at 15 of our community school sites in developing a network for community pantries. And again, such a successful summer program that the City of Anaheim has continued to employ 6 students or recent alumni. It has to be 20 hours a week, so current students are a little bit difficult to maintain a 20-hour-a-week job. So we have 6 recent alumni working in all 3 of those programs with us. Wow. So in total, in 2 years, we've been able to offer 74 internships to our students from students across 6 different schools. We're also really proud of the students who have been able to serve in these positions, are very representative of the demographics of our district, including English learners, newcomers, and special education students. Totaling about 16,580 hours of student experiences and almost $300,000 going directly to student salaries. So today, you'll get to see a brief overview of our 3 programs. You'll first hear from Victor Sierra from our Parent Google Certificate Program. I'd like to thank our FACES, Jonathan Barba and Sylvia Van Wy, who have supported and led that program. And we'll also hear from Ansley Souza and Justin Puerta from the Magnolia Agri-Science Community Center program. And I'd like to thank Dr. Sabina Jacquemus, Doug Noah, and Sean Manning, who have supported that program. And then, of course, our community school pantry program. We'll hear from Denise Rojas, Andrew Fernandez, Victor Fisher Hernandez. Apologize. He's also here, but not on the slide. And I'd like to thank Ruzi Azevedos and Orlando Orta, our community school coordinators, for leading that program. So first up, Victor Sierra.
Oh, how do I? Good evening, Board and Cabinet. My name is Victor Sierra, and I'm here to share my experience as an intern for the Google Project Management Certificate for Parents. The certificate will help parents empowered through the use of real-world scenarios where they will learn skills in problem solving and communication that will help them succeed in entry-level project management careers. I have supported this by having one-on-one technical support in person and virtually. I have also created video tutorials on how to navigate the course. This summer, we had a total of 23 parents enrolled. This fall, we had 200 parents interested. Out of those 200 parents, 129 parents are currently enrolled and participating in the course. Wow. I am proud to be helping in this project and help empowered parents and the community. Thank you.
All right.
I feel like I'm a curse this happened last year. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sabina Jacquemus. I'm the project coordinator at the Magnolia Agri-Science Community Center. I'm here to just introduce two of the 30 students that worked at the Mac Farm this summer. But first, I'd just like to go over our theory of action and also express my gratitude to the board. I think It's wonderful to see that all 5 of you have been on the MAC farm site, and so I think our students see your presence and appreciate that as well. So thank you for your support. Our theory of action has been to create a sustainable agricultural practice site where we are creating a social and cultural shift in the way that our community approaches their food habits due to their scientific literacy, learning about regenerative farming, which is good for the environment. Oh, there it goes, it's just slow. So at the Magnolia Agri-Science Community Center, some of the things that we are proud of doing is that we, at Magnolia High School, have lots of civic action projects where students are finding ways to use the farm as an asset to their learning. We've held multiple community education events with community partners. In our classrooms, especially our science classrooms, we've partnered with UCI professors that have been doing professional development for some of our science teachers across the district, learning about how to bring in regenerative farming practices into science classrooms like chemistry, physics, and Living Earth. And then lastly, helping teachers make a connection to using the farm as an asset to learning, bringing into professional development opportunities for teachers to make learning matter for the students. So with me today I have Ansley Sosa. He's going to go first. Ansley is actually representing 4 different student groups. So we split our 30 students into 5 different civic action groups this summer. So he's here to represent 4 of those groups, and he's going to talk a little bit about what those students did.
Hi, I'm Ansley Souza. I graduated from Magnolia High School in the last spring, and I had the opportunity to work as an intern for the MAC during the summer. And I was fortunate enough to be hired back for the 2023-2024 school year. I'm currently attending Cypress College and plan to transfer to a 4-year university, and I'm currently majoring in mechanical engineering. This internship has helped me understand the different opportunities and jobs that are available in the public sector, which I'm also interested in working in. So one of our groups that we had was the community education group, and this group researched ways that could benefit the community in environmentally sustainable ways of changing our food habits. This group also realized that the best way that they can reach out to the most amount of people was through our registration. So we reached out to almost 800 families during our Magnolia High School registration event, and they were able to educate families one-on-one about eating locally produced foods and eating foods that were in season in California, so that they do not have to eat foods that are traveled away from far places. Our next group that we had was a group that wrote a book about the history of the MAC. And not only did it write a book about the history of the MAC, but it also highlighted student stories from all over our districts. Students wrote personal stories about the connections to food, including their favorite cultural recipes. The book is also currently being looked over by an editor and is projected to be ready to be published by the end of this school year. My group worked on video production that helped spread awareness on the MAC farm in the community and also educate others on the importance of regenerative farming. My personal favorite video that we did over the internship was the jam video, which is right there. We will not be playing the video tonight, but you can access the video on our YouTube channel, which is Farming the Future on YouTube. And we also created podcasts and many different videos that you can are very educational to teach other people. I would like to thank the City of Anaheim for this experience, and I'm feeling very confident in my future because of this opportunity that was offered to me. And next up, we have Justin Puerta talking about his group's cell phone app creation. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Justin Puerta. I'm a senior at Magnolia High School. I was a past intern for the MAC, and now I'm interning with AIM. So I'm here to talk about my app called Pure Plate, which is created to help solve food and poverty within the city of Anaheim. So originally coming into the internship, I was given the option to either do the MAC or another internship with AIM. So I'm in the cybersecurity program for Magnolia, which kind of puts me in a bit of a hard situation because the MAC is all about agriculture, whereas I'm mainly used to doing stuff like cybersecurity and computer science. So I decided to solve a core problem that I've seen my whole life. Growing up in Anaheim, I've seen food and poverty my whole life. You know, it's always easier for me to just go down the street and get a cheeseburger as opposed to getting like a salad that's charged up $5 than it should be. So me and my team decided to create an app that'll help solve this problem. If you look up on the board, we actually gathered different areas where you can find local, fresh, and organic produce at a cheap price. So we targeted places like farmers markets, grocery stores, and other places like that, such as the community garden at Magnolia. Here's a general overlook of our app. It's not much, but we do aspire to add much more. So we have a satellite view of Anaheim and where to look for these grocery stores and farmers markets. We also have a bit of an educational page where you can look at which fruits and veggies are in season and when they're the best to be eaten. So right now, although it's not much, we do plan on finishing the app with a partnership with AIM throughout this school year and a little bit into next year. Now I'd like to introduce Andrew Fernandez. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Fernandez. I am one of the 17 students chosen to participate in the Community Schools Internship Program. So essentially, I'm going to give you a quick overview of this program. So after a survey of basic needs and assets, we noticed that food insecurity is a humongous problem in our community. And my team and I decided to initiate the 5 C's, such as critical thinking, collaboration, and communication, to solve this food problem as a result. And what I've done here, for example, at Dale Junior High, is establish a food pantry and add on to it by basically restocking all the food, basic necessities such as clothing, sanitizing products, just to give to the families. And I've additionally started to collaborate with companies such as Target and Food for Less. They have given Dale Junior High money to support us in restocking our food pantries, and additionally, we've started a collaboration with the OC Food Bank. And essentially what this has done, it has given us a consistent source of food and clothing for our families in Anaheim. And most importantly, what I've gathered from this experience is I've greatly sharpened my communicative and collaborative skills, including with working with other people, especially adults. So, yeah, this has been a great experience overall. It really pushed me even more to pursue political science and civil services, which I want to pursue in the future. Thank you.
All right.
And I'd like to introduce the Western View team.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victor Fisher Hernandez. I was the intern at Orange Street Junior High School. Here are some marketing campaigns I have created. And in this video, you won't be able to see, but in this video, there's a successful food drive that I helped manage. And as someone who wants to major in public health, this internship really opened my eyes on the necessities in our community. I would, as a person, I am really social with people around my age, but when it comes to adults, I'm a tad bit reserved. But here I am speaking to adults. I'm having a conversation with adults. And so this internship really helped me build up my confidence speaking and conversing with adults. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Denise Rojas, and I actually was an intern for Western High School. As you could see on the slides, we had our project Beyond Western, where we took staff to better know our community and to better understand the food insecurity that's occurring. We also had Project La Bodeguita, where I helped manage and organize our food pantry and our resource pantry, which had sanitary products and other free products accessible for our our community, and our future prospects was expanding La Bodeguita as well as bonding together. And I really enjoyed this experience being a part of this internship because it kind of adds on to what I want to be when I grow up, which is practically also in political science. I want to do policy work, and I want to be able to contribute back to the communities. And being able to work hand in hand with community members and other organizations gave me that collaboration, as well as working along with other schools and other sites. Thank you.
All right.
That concludes our presentation. I'm sure we would have loved to have all 53 students up here tonight, and they would have been happy to share their individual stories. But once again, want to thank the City of Anaheim for giving us this opportunity. I know the grant's going to run out, but we are definitely going to apply for another one. And we're going to extend our current funding. And one thing we've learned for doing it 2 summers in a row, now that we've announced that, we'll probably need to tell the students when the interviews are, because they are hounding us to have this opportunity. So thank you to all of our advisors who led it, and thank you to the City of Anaheim, and thank you to the board. Any questions?
Anybody have a question?
I didn't have a question, but just a comment. I just want to, for both the presentations, they're definitely student-driven projects. So I want to thank all the partners and staff for continuing to support our students, and thank you for everyone that came to present tonight.
And I have no question also, but I have a comment, and I want to say thank you. This was great news. You know, we've got our funding to go and support even more students. This is a phenomenal gain for us, and the project at the Mac Farm is great.
You are just pride in what you do, how you serve this community. And for my generation, there wasn't a lot of opportunity to think about what you wanted to do when you became older. It was very limited, and I think of the breadth of experiences that our young people, it gives me chills. Their experiences that they're having to decide what direction, what pathway they may want to go in life. And all I can just say is, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you.
I'm just choked up right now because you are the epitome of just giving back, and just the things that are going on in the world right now. You guys can make such a difference, and you already have made a difference in bringing about change in the community. A lot of people are stifled right now saying, we can't, and you have all proven that that's not the case. And I'm just, I'm just enamored with all of you. And anything that you need from us, please don't hesitate to ask. We need to be helping you because you have all the answers, and we're so proud of you. Thank you.
Well, I think what has been demonstrated this evening is what this district is all about, and that is opening up our paradigm to you students, allowing you to venture into, instead of just a simple classroom and sitting in a classroom and looking at what we used to call a chalkboard and having the teacher stand up there and talk, to actually getting your hands dirty and out in the community working and helping others and planning for the future, because what you're planning is your future and your students' future. So we love it. The board loves to have students come and make presentations and talk to us because we hear what you're having to say. We hear the education you're receiving, and what you have done tonight is just fantastic. It's wonderful. We thank you very much for not only what you're doing, but also all the teacher support and the community support that goes behind it, because without them, you know, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you again. Appreciate it. Question was just raised. Do you think that students would care to come forward and have a picture taken? Yeah, so if we can come forward here with the board.
part of the picture. Yes. Yes. We can take your, yes. Well, but you helped provide the experience for the kids. So yes. All right, very good.
So Kimberly, I can chop her off at home. Is there any speakers today?
Your resolution.
Thank you, Vicky.
Oh, sorry, I need to stay. You're not taking a photo of it.
Isn't that
Oh, yeah.
just wonderful?
That's great. That's what it's all about, getting these kids involved in learning. Yes. Thank you.
Where did Miss Randall Trejo go? Did she go with the students out the door?
I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's what
We
was
lost
in
her?
my-
Oh, okay.
Never thought about it. These kids.
Okay, next
Got a lot more options.
up is item number 8, public comments on open session items. And there's a timer here with a parliamentarian, right there, 5 minutes, 3 minutes to speak, excuse me. And the first up to speak is Artie Castillo.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's been a while. I'm back. But it's a great night tonight. Love to hear. This is something that I like to see the young kids do, and it's strange, because I was in Jeffrey Lynn for 25 years helping feeding from the CDC, Catholic Charities, Orange County Rescue Mission, and then helping mentoring kids, families. But to see younger kids doing this, that's the change in me, to see youngers getting involved. And some of the other issues where, of the smoking and all that, where these kids, they do get it from peer uppers that, or they get their families, we see it's something on the table, they take it. And they're young kids in elementary school. So it's surprising that the times changed a lot and there's a lot of peer pressure out there in the community. So being involved in that in this community, I can understand sometimes, but when you get kids in actions and YMCA and Boys and Girls Clubs and you keep them activities, those kids turn out great. And we got to keep it going when they get to the next level. So there's a lot of times where kids are not fortunate to have those kind of accessibilities. And so that really hit me tonight. I'd like to mention that. But again, in the history, and again, my subject is being that I was, third generation here and went to the schools, and the issues of history of changes that I've seen. And so my approach is not an attackful approach, it's an information approach to know that some of us went through some really hard times with, the discriminating of not knowing who we were, not knowing individuals. We could have somebody in the family member not doing something right, or a teacher-student problem. And, unfortunately, sometimes it brought us here to the city, to the school board, to have, a long time ago, we used to fill this place up. And for me, it's just to resolve the problems and to meet with you guys and have you guys just understand that we need to have a lot of things kind of like working as community leaders and all that together with the school. Because everything comes from the kids as they grow up. As we get older, And, but just as much as that, it was a lot I wanted to say, but I'm not gonna tonight. I wanted to reach out to some information to give you guys, but this tonight was great to hear all this other stuff. So I just like to commend all those kids, and you know, that's my whole life is the youth. Keep them busy and keep them out of trouble. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up is Masa.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, October 12th. I'm going to read something that Virginia wrote. It's a friendly, respectful reminder to all of you. Date, November 15 of 2021. Let's move Anaheim towards a more exclusive and dignified future by removing the mascot, the name colonist. Many schools and national sport teams have come to a rational understanding of the negative impact of mascots that are offensive and harmful. They have chosen in a spirit of respect, understanding, and for the better benefit of communities to remove their distasteful mascot names. Such actions in our country demonstrate that removing of long-time negative representations of oppression, racism, and inequality are a step towards healing the pervasive and historical injustices towards minorities, especially Native Americans and indigenous peoples, Chicanos, Mexicanos, Central Americans. There is a historical disconnect between the quote, colonists, as depicted by the Anaheim High School mascot and much later German, quote, colonists in Anaheim. Colonists arrived on America's East Coast in the early 1600s and were never in California. Colonists predates the establishment of the United States and democracy. Quote, colonists, quote, worldwide took indigenous lands as their own under violent, dehumanizing, unscrupulous methods, raids, and warfare, which is the reason the word should not represent high school students. In 1857, the Germans planned a project to move to Anaheim, where in fact investors was the local Native Americans and indigenous agriculture that would make it possible with water supplies and land preparations for vineyards so the Germans could prosper. 3 years later, when all was ready, the Germans arrived and made their homes on unceded land. During the same era, local natives barely survived, incursion having suffered 90% loss of population under horrifying attempts to completely exterminate indigenous peoples and take the land. For Native Americans, the term, quote, colonist is a reminder of a cruel and distrust treatment of our ancestors. And I'll end it right there. We had Indigenous Peoples Day this Monday. I did send a couple emails or messages to Facebook, including Jessica Guerrero, but I know all of you are very busy. And but it was beautiful. It was nice to see Carlos from the City Council of Anaheim present, and even Stephen Fassel. So 2 councilmen were there, and all we were waiting is for some of you to show up, but with time, I know we need to work a little harder to invite you guys there. We just came back from Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, South Dakota, Minneapolis, met some of the George Floyd's relatives. We talked about the Anaheim colonists, the petition, the YouTube video of Virginia Carmelo, and so many more things that we're fighting for. I went to a meeting last night, and I was happy to see that they did take off once a colonist, always a colonist. That was beautiful. But when I turned around the building, I saw it was there. Once a colonist, always a colonist. To us, Native people, it's like saying once a colonist, always a rapist, a child molester, a chomo, a stealing of our land and shooting of our people by the Anaheim Police Department. There's good cops and bad cops. There's good people and bad people in every skin color and every religion. Thank you so much for listening. And I just want to give this, they want to meet with you guys, 2 important business cards of the Tribal Council. Who can I give this to so we can set up a meeting? Thank you so much for your attention.
Next speaker is, it looks like Pascat?
Is it parent?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks so much. First of all, thank you so much, trustees, for the time and opportunity. In recent years, like many other parents and educators, I have actively stood behind ethically and healthily education policies. With the passing of AB 329, which sparked a fiery discussion in our school district in 2019, that journey reached a turning point. At a crucial time, our school district made the decision to pause its ties with Planned Parenthood for 2 years. In response to parents' concerns, I'm standing here again asking for your support as we prioritize several urgent concerns. One, the security of our schools is a major concern for us. Parents are understandably concerned about the alarming rise in violence and drug overdoses, particularly those involved like fentanyl. What is the district doing to keep our schools safe? Any initiatives or awareness towards fentanyl? Two, sensitive student data. We are aware that our students must first create a username and password to access a third-party BLM task force website. Parents undoubtedly want to know that the personal information of their kids is secure. Does the school district know how the third-party vendor is securing and storing the students' data? Is it true or false that this outside service provider is monitoring how program is carried out for both staff and students? Is the task force really necessary? Have all parents received information in their native language about the service provider and its implementation practices for their child? Parents are interested in learning what information the district has provided, give me 1 second, has provided to outside vendors. 3, OCO, a school initiative caught our attention. Despite the program's claim of success, we as parents must take steps to protect our children from unsupervised and unvetted third-party providers. Is there a grant? Is the district using funds for this initiative? We will find out. I use these two illustrations on how school district must deal with unregulated vendors. Our school district needs to be more transparent when it comes to disclosing private information, screening all members from outside vendors, and informing all parents of processes and procedures implemented by outside vendors. In response to these concerns, I've started collaborating with dedicated parents to launch an accountability, I'm almost done, an accountability campaign, much as like an efforts in 2019. Our objective is not to criticize to criticize the district, but to foster a collaboration with the district. We firmly believe that a robust partnership between parents and school district is essential for our students' success and improving our community. In closing, we kindly request a response from the district regarding concerns. Despite the challenges we face, we remain optimistic that by working together, we can build a brighter future for our schools, a safer, for our schools, its students, and a safer community. Thank you for your time and attention.
Excuse me. Can you give us your name
I sure will.
and how
I
to
sure will.
contact you?
I sure will.
All right, please do that. And give it to our parliamentarian here. All right, thank you. Next speaker, Linda Martinez.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity of speaking before you guys. First of all, I want to remind everyone that the reason why I'm here is because I truly care about our students, and definitely I care about my daughter's safety at her campus and at any campus that she has walked in through this AUHSD district. For doing so, I have been targeted by district officials, had meetings with Mr. Roberto Saldivar and Mr. Jaren Reed, Mr. Michael Matsuda, and it has not been very welcoming. Let me just remind you, I'm a parent. I'm a parent, and you cannot stop me from voicing my concerns. One of the concerns that I brought up was about violence. Last summer, we met various times, and I stopped coming to these meetings because I was attacked by Robert Saldivar, saying that I was threatening him. Absolutely not. I never threatened anybody. All I did was bring up those concerns because there were so many things going on at Sycamore Junior High that were just like escalating beyond point. one of the things that I want to address here is that, you know, I truly care about the students. Jessica, you know, you are the person who represents us. I've never seen you really do anything but just take pictures with people. I want you to do something about it, because if not, we're going to recall you. You need to start moving. You need to start looking at what's happening at our schools, at Anaheim and at Sycamore. The safety of our schools is so, so important. I'm not here against anybody here at the district. What I am here for is concerned about the safety of our students. Parents are not being able to collaborate with school officials, and that is not okay. It is, give me one more second. It is very, very important that this collaboration exists, regardless of the differences that we may all have, but with respect, you know, give the parent that, you know, area where he or she can be able to express their concerns. Another thing that I want to say is this, that, you know, when we talk about collaboration, there's always a language barrier. I've asked for translation. I've brought in people here that speaks only Espanol, and the secretary, Mr. Michael Matsudas, told me, she called me and I have it on my voicemail, that those you know, district papers are not available in the Spanish language. We need to break those barriers. You know, it's very significant for the parents that do speak only Espanol. You know, I speak English and Spanish, but it's very, very important, and that we start collaborating. You know, enough is enough about this, you know, hate and bullying parents. You know, I mean, a lot of you might not like me, but it's okay. We might have differences. I still respect you. So I expect that same respect, you know, and that we work collaboratively for our students. Thank you.
Moving on to educational services, school-sponsored student organizations. We have a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. And, pardon me? Yes, Daniela Ruiz, she will
Get to vote on
be
this.
part of the voting on this one.
Any questions?
Yes, thank you. Are there any
I was
questions or
talking to her,
concerns?
sorry.
Yes, no? No?
Okay.
So, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 6-0, thank you. Resolutions, number 9.2, resolution number 2023/24-B-05, request for proposals for E-rate year 27 data communications equipment, cybersecurity software, and other related electronic equipment and apparatus and services.
That's a mouthful. I'll move
That's a
that.
mouthful. You're going to move it.
I move it.
A motion and a second. Are there any questions?
No.
Okay, seeing none, it's a roll call vote. Ms. Jessica Guerrero.
Aye.
Ms. Pierce.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Smith. Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That's 6-0. Next item, 9.3, resolution number 2023-24-E-09, Great American Smokeout/Escape the Vape Day 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion, any questions?
No.
Okay, this is a roll call vote, and Danielle will also vote on this. So Danielle?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
Ms. Percy?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
And that's 6-0. Next has been pulled, item 9.4 has been pulled before we approve the agenda. 9.5, agreement Fifth Asset, Inc., DBA debt book.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion, questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 5-0. 9.6, agreement transportation Fairmount Schools.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 5-0. 9.7, membership Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 9.8, agreement Fullerton College Learning Aligned Employment Program.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions, discussions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 9.9, agreement CSU F, College of Business and Economics Student Consulting Program.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Ms. Guerrero.
Thank you. I just had a quick clarifying question. I know this is a strategy geared towards Orangeview Junior High School and Western High School. I just want to check if they would be part of the committee or meetings of the marketing strategy as well as the community schools of Orangeview and Western.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Saldivar, who's been working with Cal State Fullerton in this piece.
Yeah, so both Orangeview and Western admin, some of their admin representatives will be a part of the meetings with folks from this department, so the student consultants from this department. So once this is approved, then we have, I believe, 6 meetings minimum, which they will both be a part of.
Okay, thank you.
And my question was just, how did this come to be?
So we've worked with them in the past. So when we were building our biotechnology program and the iLab at Western High School, through our partnership with Cal State Fullerton, our superintendent Matsuda was referred to these folks to help us with building and marketing those 2 programs. So the logos that you have seen for those 2 programs and some of the branding stuff came from the student group at that time. And so having this relationship, Superintendent Matsuda asked us to reach out to them again to help us with the consolidation of both Orangeview and Western High School and looking at 2 different options and making a recommendation, whether it's having them as 2 separate sites on one site or merging them together as one site.
All right, thank you.
So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 9.10, a memorandum of understanding, MOU, Savannah Elementary School District, SAVSD.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 9.11, agreement, Natus House DBA Neutral Ground, Inc.
Slow moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Discussion?
Not a question, just a comment. I just wanted to thank the Ed Services team for working with our sites to bring this item forward. Thank you.
I did have a question, and part of it was answered in the previous question, but we're going to have, some schools will have somebody there 2 days a week, and some will have them there 3 days a week. So they're not all full-time at each school. So they're going to be, and so how are we determining who will be there 2 days and the other 3 days, in other words?
So this was brought to our district's district community school steering committee along with our Ed Services team. And what happened is based on the work that we've gotten out of Dr. Hernandez's office and student services, we've seen the level of gang activity. So we have our schools kind of lumped in tiers based on the volume. So as this pilot goes, the schools that have the most activity will pilot it the 3 days. The schools with a lesser amount are the second tier, will have the 2 days.
Well, because I was wondering, okay, so we say, okay, this school only needs it 2 days, but then let's say there's not much happening there, but then the other school that he's at 3, or she is at 3 days, has a real, let's say, conflux of activity and they need to be there. Is there going to be some flexibility?
Yeah, so just one of the benefits to working with this group here, there was a couple of other groups that we're looking at, is that they're very flexible in adding additional days. So we could easily go from 2 to 3, from a school that's at 0 to 1 or 2 days, and they charge based on the number of days that they're servicing our schools.
Okay.
Where the other group that we're looking at, it was either all or none. So again, just very flexible with their pricing and the number of days and how they service their schools.
Okay, well, this is my other question, because when I was looking at the pricing, okay, it was kind of estimated almost on 5 days a week. Okay, so that, and so if it's 5 days a week, that's the number of days. Okay, so it's a total number of days is what indicates the total amount we're paying, right?
Correct.
I mean,
I believe if I remember correctly, it was about 13 to 14,000 for 1 day. I'm not sure if we have Dr.
1 day a week was
Dr.
14,000, right?
Yes.
And
So,
then 5 days a week was 72. But I was reading that to mean it'd be one person at that school 5 days.
right.
And then how many schools are we doing this at?
It says 7 here.
Like,
7 total
so-
schools.
Okay, so, but it's basically based on the number of days we have somebody at a school.
Yes, correct. That is correct.
All right.
I just want to make a comment. I think this is a fantastic idea to kind of, hit it head on and, not waiting for a reaction, but, getting ahead of it. So were you initially part of choosing this?
Yeah, sorry, that was a little loud. Dr. Cruz, Dr. Hernandez, along with some of us from Ed Services, we're all collaborating to work with this. But initially, Dr. Cruz and Dr. Hernandez was meeting with the group. I think they were referred to us by, was it Jose Lara from Gilbert that maybe
Yeah,
came
I
first?
think it was Jose Lara, because initially we had been looking into kinship, which is a more expensive, less flexible
Yes.
program. And Santa Ana School District, I think, used kinship along with neutral ground. And when we found out about neutral ground, it became a way more flexible and more cost-effective option.
Yeah.
Again, going back to what Trustee Randall Trejo said, is also in a proactive effort. Right? That in partnership with what the work our great SROs are doing in building relationships, we're hoping that this will have an impact in reducing things that happen on a campus and building capacity in students so they're less likely to be recruited or join into gang activity.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Good. Great. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 9.12, Agreement Barnett-Berry.
So moved?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Agreement Freight Farms.
So moved?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? It's an interesting concept. Looking forward to seeing the results on this. Having a farm in a trailer, basically. They can generate more capacity than the square footage on the ground. So, yes, exciting.
So this is in a trailer, and it will be at the
At the MAC.
Mac Farm.
Yeah.
Is it going to be next to the chicken coop?
A natural fertilizer.
Yeah.
It's middle, right? That's, yeah. If it's in the middle, right? That's.
Yeah. Amy,
Okay, Amy?
working closely with the, yeah.
It's actually a shipping container, so it's a 300 square foot shipping container, but inside is decked out with a lot of technology that allows, so there are farm-in-a-boxes that are, you farm within a shipping container, but this has a specialized technology that allows us to grow 2.5 acres worth of food in a 320 square foot shipping container with only using 5 gallons of water a day.
Wow.
And so it's the combination of the urban farming and the technology built into the shipping container.
Hydroponics are really interesting. Where is that trailer going to be placed? Is it going to be at the far south end, or will it be at the north end of the farm? Because it depends upon where the water, well, 5 gallons isn't that much, it doesn't matter, really. Does
It's
it
in phase
need electricity?
2. Directionally, it's, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
It's north of that. Right now, it's all weeds.
Right. So that part that we have not developed yet? Okay, that's the north part, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 5-0. Consent calendar. Anybody wishing to poll?
Yes. I would like to pull 10.13.
10.13, okay? That's okay. Anybody else? I have 10.12. Oh, there she comes. Wait a minute. Okay, poll 10.12, 10.13, 10.12 GG only.
Okay.
10.13 and 10.15.
Okay,
Move for the balance?
second?
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, let's go with 10.12 GG.
So moved?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? 401. Okay, 10.13.
So moved?
Second?
Motion and a second. Ms. Guerrero.
I will be abstaining.
Okay. All All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Aye.
That's 302. Okay, 10.15.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, and I have a question. Looking at the comprehensive needs assessment components, that I think is page number 2, it says, of those who responded to the 2022-23 LCAP student survey, 81%, N equals 269, strongly or somewhat agreed the school provides the resources they need, blah, blah, blah. And then 79%, N equals 271, strongly or somewhat agreed that they understand the graduation requirements. So that's the percent that strongly or somewhat. Are we able to determine what the other percentage was and why they said they disagreed? Do we get that kind of information during the survey?
No, I don't believe we get that information.
Is that type of information available, not now because we don't have it, but in the future to be able to make better decisions?
Yeah, we can look at the survey and
okay, trying to determine where we're deficient. Why aren't we getting 100% instead of the 70s or 80%? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's 5-0. Okay. Got through the consent calendar. Now we're on to Superintendent and Staff Report. Mr. Matsuda. Okay, that was quicken?
Just so everyone knows, he is in Atlanta representing our district. He was on the dais at a conference with essentially educational transformational funders who are looking for organizations that are trying to transform education. So he was representing our district. In fact, I think he was the only superintendent invited. Typically, these are just business folks, and he was on the dais speaking to the work we're doing, but also engaging with folks who are interested in spending money to support districts in this work. So that's where he is.
Love that.
So, for my report, real quick, I know Amanda kind of stole my thunder. I was going to obviously share my immense gratitude to our incredible ed staff team for just the logistical aspects and the instructional leadership with not only our Ed Summit, and obviously we can spend a lot of time just on the great work that happened in Anaheim, but there was also incredible work that was taking place at Kennedy and Hope with our instructional aides and our moderate to severe teachers. And then we also had Dr. Adam Hernandez and his team at Savannah working with our campus safety aides. We had senior admin and some office staff in here being trained in mindfulness. Just incredible work. Our counselors, social workers, and psychologists with, I know, Amy Kwan, Amy Maya, Lauren Klatzker, Dr. Adele Cruz doing the work, and Amanda at Cypress. So just incredible. And then the next morning, on top of that, we had the college and career fair that we were planning for that night, which again, Carlos and his team, I know Patty Ardondo's not here, I know Allison and Charles, I don't think Charles is here, but just incredible. Scott, our transportation director, I mean, just, again, really cohesive, coherent process with all of our departments making that happen. And then, so I'm not going to go more into that because Amanda did that eloquently. Yeah, summer graduation, oh my gosh, summer graduation, like we did a trifecta in like 2 days. Then Adam's team, the summer graduation, which, you know, we were contemplating, should we really look at something that we do in the spring and just allow them to participate? But after going through that experience, we're like, no, we can't do that. Those students would have never gotten an opportunity to shine the way they did that night. And they all have stories as to why they needed that extra time. So we took that off. So we're going to continue with that experience because we thought it was impactful and we want to create that experience for students who maybe have that kind of a need. But the one thing I wanted to share is on top of all that, we're in the midst of planning for another busy week. We have 2 visits, one from a group in Oklahoma who's coming to learn about the work that we're doing that's transforming education. Plus we have, as you know, we're a transformational deep learning leading and learning district for the state. We call it a demonstration district for folks to make sense. But we have our STAC, which is the UCLA Center, plus the 2 other transformational deep dive districts, agencies, plus the RTACs, which are the regional centers that are coming to be with us on the 19th and I think on the 20th. So for 2 days of leading and learning with us, which is important because it's not only us who are leading that work, but we're going to be able to learn from, hopefully, the other districts that are also doing this in different parts of the state. So we can really refine and continue to grow our practices. So again, Carlos and our community school effort teams, I'm just super blessed and excited for the work that we're doing. And then you guys know on Tuesday, our ed services will take you on a 3-hour tour to go over the board retreat and all the different things that we're doing and get your input on a number of initiatives. So a lot going on in ed services. But only 3 hours. Well, I'm sure if you give us more, we'll take more. But yeah, I know they don't necessarily want that, but we're all in. So anyways, thank you for that opportunity. We're excited.
Did he say that they're going to?
Thank you. Anybody else? No report? No report?
No, I have to report.
Oh, excuse me.
So I did attend the Cypress High School homecoming game as well as their 50th year celebration. So it was a great event at the Cypress High School. I do want to take this time to thank Anaheim High School for hosting the Ed Summit as well as the team, the operations team, and a lot of the staff over there. They worked tirelessly over the weekend and prior to that to make sure the site's in great shape. But Anaheim High School, the principal and everybody else on their team, their students, the bros, everybody, they were there early in the morning, help everything set up. So just really want to shout out to that team to host everybody there that day. So thank you. And that's my report. Thank you.
Sorry. So I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and just really give a lot of kudos to Diana Fujimoto and our curriculum specialists and our 5 Cs for, again, an amazing showcase of really the skills that we have in our district with our teachers and teacher leaders and our staff. We had over 50 workshops going on at one time. We were walking through those workshops. I know some of us were all there, and just the level of energy and the capacity that was being built for a lot of our staff members. So just an amazing job. And also we've taken, I'm sure you guys know this, we've taken our principal meetings and our staff meetings on the road. And so we've been visiting some of our sites on our Friday staff meetings and our biweekly principal meetings. So we visited Sycamore, Loera, Berkers. Tomorrow we're at Catella High School, and it's been just really nice to get back on those campuses and be around students and staff members. And so again, I know that was one of the recommendations from our board, so thank you for that, for the reminder of connecting back with our campuses. It's been really nice to be on our campuses and just really see the synergy and the energy and all the great things that are happening, and at the same time take care of business while we're there. So thank you.
Thank you for your report. Next.
May I make a comment on that? The principals meeting I noticed you were having at Dale, and I think that is, moving out onto the campuses, because some of our principals never get to these other schools, and they don't see those schools, and so I think that's a great idea, and moving it around. And now, what is the other group that you were talking about? SBAC?
Our ed staff.
Ed staff meetings on Fridays.
I guess ed staff.
Our ed
okay.
division meetings.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, you guys belong, okay. It's a good thing you're visiting, but I really, sometimes I think you guys ought to be on the campus for a whole day.
We're there for 4 hours.
For 4 hours? Well,
That's a good chunk of time.
that's a start.
Well, so our meetings are there, and of course, both at the principal meetings and ed staff meetings, not only we have automatic breaks, so every time the bell rings, we are going out and supervising the passing
Okay.
grades. So we're modeling, but we're also, our commitment to safety, culture, and climate, we want to make sure that we're visible, and we're also getting assessment and a lay of the land in terms of how things are going. But then the other commitment that our team has made is that we're also on campuses as individuals serving, whether it's the principal as a coach or the Title I specialist. It doesn't, regardless of who we're serving, our dual language program, Dr. Bryant's on campus all the time. So we're making a commitment to be on campuses regularly through our own roles within the ed division,
Good.
in addition to as a team.
And you also then, if you're on the campus and you're out during the passing periods and you get to see these kids and their behaviors, to remember what it's like to be on a campus. Okay, yeah, that's important.
All right. All right, next up is the board report. Ms. Guerrero?
Yes, thank you. So I had the pleasure of attending Anaheim High School's 125th Alumni Car Show, as well as Cypress High School's 50th anniversary celebration that happened to land on the same day. And then I attended the back-to-school night for Savannah High School, Magnolia High School, and Dale Junior High School. And then this past month, we had the pleasure of the grand opening of Anaheim High School's market. The brand new permanent pantry aims to provide a valuable resource to our students and ensuring that members of our school community have access to nutritious food. As a Anaheim High School alumni and the trustee that represents the area, I was really proud that was opening. I want to thank all the partners that were able to make that happen, including our community schools team, Anaheim High School staff, and the Second Harvest Food Bank. And then I also attended the trifecta, the AUHSD Educational Summit, Got to honor our summer graduates at the graduation ceremony this past week. And then I also attended the college and career fair. And I would say the last time I was at the college and career fair was when I was an avid student at AUHSD, and it has grown tremendously since my time there. So I want to thank the board's leadership in making that grow, and of course all of our district staff in making that grow. And I will say the transportation aspect, I think, is a great addition to that. I think as the students and the families really appreciate that. So thank you.
I'm just curious, since you just mentioned that, Danielle, did you have an opportunity to get to the college and career fair?
I did towards the end, but for the first few hours, we were just passing out the brochures and welcoming the families and the kids. But towards the end, we did get a chance to go and check out the booths.
Oh, good.
What about your participation with the Ed Summit?
Oh yeah, so our call time was 6 a.m. We were at Anaheim. Just got up at 4 a.m. to get ready. So yeah, 6 a.m. all the ambassadors were there, welcoming staff. We didn't get to eat the breakfast until 8:30, but that's okay. And then I got to do the Pledge of Allegiance, which was a surprise. I was not waiting on that, but Mr. Matsuda came up to me and he's like, "You're doing the pledge." I'm like, I am. Okay, so that was fun. And then I got to do the same thing at Kennedy at the graduation. I also got to lead the pledge. So yeah.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
You went through the mindfulness, did you not?
Oh, I also went to the mindfulness with the ambassadors, the mindfulness representatives, and the ASB presidents at every single school site. We were all there. It was a 3-hour mindfulness training, and I enjoyed it a lot. We did a lot of exercises that I needed from being at that school from like really early. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Good. Ms. Percy?
Okay, I also attended the Cypress 50th celebration, but I have to say that I didn't get there on time, and I was upset, and that was because of my niece, who was had spent the night, and she graduated from Cypress in '78, and so I said, well, come along. Well, she waited until the last minute to get ready, so I was a few minutes late. But I couldn't say anything because I had invited her. Okay. So anyway, it was really good. She enjoyed it tremendously. They had all these old yearbooks out and a lot of pictures, and there was a group of teachers who were there, and from a long time ago who had retired and came. So, and I talked to some people who had graduated and from different areas. I mean, one guy was from Huntington Beach and another guy was from Iowa or something. He moved, but somehow he was in the area. So it was really well done. I enjoyed it. And then I also, which is not necessarily part of my duties, but I also ended up helping Cypress Band with their pancake breakfast the next week. Okay. Then I attended the Aries workshop, which, was great. I learned, and now I understand Aries and E-Cadence a lot better, so I may not be able to use it, but I understand it much better. So. Western Varsity Talks, I went to that breakfast, and that was a really good presentation. They get a grant for that, and it's a neat thing. They had this woman who had been a graduate. She was an Olympic star, and they had, 2 other people. I don't remember what they were, but it was a really nice presentation. I also attended the summer graduation. It was very nicely done. I was kind of disappointed there were only, maybe 40 kids that came out of 200 and 300?
160?
100 how many? 141 graduated, but yeah. But I'm sure there's all kinds of reasons and so. And then the College and Career Fair, which was really well done. I loved the new location and the space. I mean, we've had it at the convention center, but not in Hall E. But I have one comment, okay. I made a mistake of wearing regular shoes, and I should have had tennis shoes because you've got polished concrete and that long hall, and walking, I needed rubber tennis shoes or rubber sneakers or whatever. My legs were killing me by the time I finished. And also, one comment, Carlos. There's
got his pencil out.
Okay. There's seating on the outside of the building, outside of the room, but nothing inside. And I think we need to put a few chairs in between some of the areas, you know, not a whole line, but maybe 2 or 3 in a group here, because some of the parents that are with the kids, when the kids are standing in line, they may get a little tired and they might like to sit for a minute. So that's my suggestion, you know, and because there's plenty of room to put just a couple of chairs in the middle. It's not going to be a permanent thing and not a whole line, but a few here and a few there, so people can at least, because I was ready to go and steal one of their chairs, you know. I'm getting old.
Really wants it for her.
Oh. Anyway, it was phenomenal, though. I was really glad to see all the junior highs there, and they had, and the ASBs were supporting that, and they brought in, you know, games and stuff. And one of the teachers there said, "Yeah, it's supposed to be for the elementary kids," she said, "that are coming along." He says, "But we got more high schoolers here playing the games." So anyway, and then I have something else I want to say about the college and career fair, but I'll wait until we have, you know, future things to do. All right.
Smith?
After the last 6 days, coming here tonight to hear the wonderful opportunities young people are getting in this school district and building their life experiences. And I was thinking about how very much I appreciate what we do and what we do in this country and how fortunate we are. And you look at the news for the last 6 days and it leaves one broken and sickened. And I just want you to know that someone complained to me bitterly about an insignificant problem the other day and during this last 6 days. And I said, do you think the people in Israel or Ukraine would be bitterly upset like you are when we have so much here? And my last words are, if you love someone, tell them you love them and hug them and be good to each other. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Catherine. That's a good reminder. I attended the opening of the market, which is just fantastic. Number 2 on our, I'm sure, our long list of projects for our school districts. But I heard we already had 120 people signed up. And, you know, it had just opened, and so 120 families already making a difference, and I'm sure there are more signed up. We also learned when we took a tour that the city had to repaint the sidewalk because it was red. And so they gave us the permission to open that up for parking for our families. So that was a little something we didn't know, so we thank them for that. I attended the Cypress 50th, and somebody you know was there at that event, your papa, having a good time. It was really a nice celebratory event, and the kids did a fantastic job, and they were all giving tours around the campus, so they were very proud. I attended the back-to-school night at Gilbert, and I just wanted to say I'm just enamored with the way that they do things over there. It's might be a little bit different, but they're trying to do everything they can to connect to the students. And that night they had like a little fashion show. The counselor there knows a fashion designer of quinceañera dresses, and so she asked if they could borrow some, and she thought, well, you know, I think we saw this. It was on the news, and they are our feed, but it was also on the news because of not only the designer, but famous
those dresses
family.
were phenomenal.
Jenny Rivera, a famous singer's family, was there to narrate, to serenade the girls. But the designer brought so many dresses. A lot of those girls they said, the counselors said that the students were just kind of having a tough time and humming and hawing of coming to school, day in and day out, but that really lifted up their spirits. They had something to look forward to. So those girls were really excited to do that, and I think you heard on the tape that a couple of them hadn't had their quinceañeras, and so it meant a lot to them to be able to dress up and present to the families that night, and getting serenaded by the Rivera family. Our counselors are just amazing, these connections. But Jenny Rivera's mom spoke, and she told the audience there that Jenny Rivera had gone to a continuation school herself. And that she really applauded the work that is being done at Gilbert. And I got to meet her, and she said that she will come back anytime that Gilbert needs her. So, I mean, just amazing connections. And if you ask, you might get a yes, right? So that's a wonderful story. Gives you goosebumps. I attended, of course, the trifecta, the graduations, summer graduations, the Ed Summit. I stayed for the whole thing. I want you to know, because I do that if I can, because I really want to be able to speak to the work that we're all doing, and visiting and listening to the conversations that were had. Boy, do we dive deep. And before, at breakfast, sorry I got to eat breakfast before you. I would have brought you something. But I was talking to one of our teachers, and she incidentally has been involved in an administrative credential program, but not ours. And because I asked her, of course, are you involved in ours? She said, no, she purposely wanted to not go with us, not because she didn't know that it was wonderful. She said she wanted to see the difference. And she said that, not that she regrets, but she says the conversations that we have are tremendous. But she's also talking to her colleagues out there, and they do not do the work that we do. It's unfortunate for those other districts, but again, validates the work that we're doing, from a different aspect. Attended our ROP meeting last night, and I was going to say, I want to make sure that we, you said the bus drivers, I just really wanted to make sure that everybody knows that was, I saw students and families standing outside of school districts, school sites, waiting for the transportation. So it's really meaningful work. Just even driving somebody to and from an event, it's very meaningful. And I know our bus drivers drove our staff to and from the Ed Summit too, so we want to do a shout out for them. And John, you are amazing, the work that you do, and thank you so much for putting up the work that our ambassadors do, because I really wanted to make sure that our audience here and our audience watching gets to really see. And you didn't mention all of the things that are going on, because there's a million things going on, but I really wanted everyone to see that. So thank you, John, and your staff is amazing. And thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Okay. Quickly, I went to the Kennedy Choir Show, and I have to say this, for the first, I think it's the first one of the year, to have such wonderful voices on stage compared to other years at the same time where you got the squeaky ones, and they just got, but this was just wonderful. It was just amazing. I thought, wow, wait, I wonder what's going to be like on the last show of the year. Then the Nitish Patel family, he's on the La Palma City Council. He put on a staff lunch at Kennedy, and I attended that. Also attended a La Palma Community Foundation fundraiser for the Every 15-Minute program at Kennedy. And Dr. Dean was there, staff from Kennedy and from Walker, they were in attendance also. I went to Back to School Nights, Savannah, Magnolia, and Dale, which was the end one, the last one. I have to say that the Dale Back to School Night was phenomenal. There were so many people there, all crowded in the early front quad, and then after the principal spoke, they opened the gates, and it was just a flood. It was just a sea of people. It was wonderful to see. I don't think I've seen that many people on that campus before, so it was really nice to see. Attended the opening of the Anaheim Market, Anaheim High School Market, and I want to, along with Ms. Piercy, thank Eric Greenwood for his tutoring of the Cadence and the Aries, getting a little tip of the iceberg, a little better understanding. So thank you for that. Attended the Anaheim Collaborative at Fullerton College for a while, and good speaker and well attended, so it was nice to see. Boys and girls.
Can you explain what that is?
What is?
Anaheim Collaborative.
Oh, Collaborative. Yes, it's where parents, adults come together and they learn about how they can, I guess, guide their students through the college process in the future. Maybe you can elaborate a little more.
So first, the Anaheim Collaborative is our partnership with our higher ed partners like Cal State Fullerton, UC Irvine, and our two local community colleges, Cypress College and Fullerton College. It's also our partners, the city of Anaheim, Tiger Woods, RTGR, Ocapica, et cetera. So that pledge creates a number of opportunities that we guarantee or we promise, that's our pledge, to our families and our students. And as part of our pledge, there's these domains. One of the domains is parent and family engagement. So as part of this domain, we have kind of on a rotation these parent summits where we build capacity in our families and caregivers in terms of how they can support their students with the college going future and what that process or journey might look like. So this first series was at Fullerton College, where we had a dynamic keynote speaker from Chapman University, along with the parent workshops or sessions that both our staff and the collaborative partners held to build their capacity. So, and it's going to rotate. Last year, remember, it culminated at UC Irvine with parents actually spending the night in dorms or res halls. Mm-hmm. So that's what this was, the first of the several series for parent capacity building. But it's through our higher ed collaborative partnership.
That's great. Thank you. And then I attended, it was a backpack, school supplies, and sneakers giving to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Anaheim, Cypress, at the Cypress facility, and that was donated by the Nitesh Patel family again. I attended the Hope Homecoming, and I was asked, my wife and I were asked to crown the Queen and the King. And it was what a surprise. Yeah, we weren't expecting that, so we pinned them and put a little thing on their wrist and put the crown. It was really, my wife just loved it. Yes.
Oh, that's neat.
Well, we watched them dance a little bit, and then we left. Yeah. They were bouncing up and down too much, so we had to leave. Anaheim Educational Summit at just this last week, and it was great. Wonderful. Got around to some, probably 8 to 10 classrooms after to see what was going on in the classrooms. The summer graduation was wonderful. The speaker from the graduation from that summer was, it's very interesting to hear what they have to say, because it's not the normal Cypress or Kennedy or even Anaheim High School or Catella. It's different, but the wonderful speaking. They prepare themselves well. College and career fair, and last night, and not last night, but Tuesday night, I was blown away with the number of CTE demonstrations. I walked back there, I thought, holy mackerel, and just I guess you call them cubicles or sections after section after section. I think there were 3 sections of it, and it was wonderful to see how many opportunities there were, the different trades. So that was great. And then last night was our ROP board meeting. So that was my life. Just a couple things here and there, as everybody else. So next is advanced planning. We have future meeting dates, and I have a request to make. I was informed by my son, who lives in Texas, that on December 14th, which is our board meeting date, he's going to be conferred his MBA. Oh. And so that morning I'm flying out. The next day I'm flying back, but I will miss this board meeting. And I have requests that we move the board meeting to either Tuesday before it which would be the 12th, or the prior Thursday, which would be 14th less 7th, it would be the 7th. So I'd like the board to consider
Probably.
one of those dates.
Paulina, they would like it.
I think actually the Tuesday would be available. The Thursday date is not available. Is that correct?
I would imagine the Tuesday, okay. I'd go for that.
Okay, is
I'm fine.
everybody okay on December 12th, Tuesday the 12th?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Good.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Great.
All right, yes, thank you. Any other things on the dates? No, we haven't gotten to the next one, Anna. I haven't turned the page. All right, next. Item 13.2, suggested agenda items.
I have something.
Yes, I know you do.
Okay. I spent quite a few minutes talking to Alan, and I don't remember Alan's last name, in the e-sports section.
Oh,
Okay.
so did I.
And did you?
I did too. I did too.
Did you too? Yeah. And the young man, okay, the teacher's name, I didn't write it down.
Jason Collier.
Jacob.
Yeah,
Jason.
Jason.
Evidently, Jacob, when he was, 3 years ago, he was new, and at the orientation, I was talking to him, and he remembered me, and he glommed onto me and was talking. He is so excited about teaching this. Now, what I want to bring up, I got all these flyers about it, but I would like to have a presentation on the esports, because to me, beforehand, basically esports was just playing games.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's so much more. Okay, just talking with him and looking at these flyers, I mean, this is what I have been working for, and always thinking about is creating, teaching pathways for future jobs, which we do already. And this is another one. And so I would like to have him or give a presentation and to the board to, and explain all about what esports really is and how many areas it touches and not just games.
I'll second that because I was one of the classrooms that we visited, and this teacher was teaching everyone what he is, the curriculum that he's built on Minecraft, and how well the students are engaged with that, and how well they perform on these tasks, and how much they learn, because it's something they enjoy.
Yeah.
So yes, I spoke to, thank you. I spoke to Scott Rendell after the College and Career Fair, so I have it tentatively written down in January, I think, because of the number of presentations we have lined up.
Okay, super.
So I'll work with him on that piece.
Okay, very good.
They were all excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're always excited to present.
A really nice, spread. They had about 6 TVs going, I guess, but it was, and some really good flyers, so. Yeah, I was impressed.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And second, motion and a second. And I'd like to adjourn this meeting in the memory of Jordan Brandman, who is a former board member, not only on our board, but ROP board, and he passed away last Friday night. So, in his memory, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.